It looked like a dream. A loft in downtown Austin, Texas, with floor-to-ceiling windows, city lights glittering below, and sleek modern design that seemed pulled straight from a magazine. The photos online promised a lifestyle most people only imagined. Rooftop parties, morning coffees with a view, and the convenience of living in the heart of the city. The listing was perfect in every way. The price was shockingly reasonable for such a prime location. In a city where apartments were going for thousands more per month and rental competitions were fierce, this felt like an opportunity that could not be ignored. People stopped scrolling. They stared at the images, checked the map, and wondered if it could really be real. The person behind the listing introduced himself as David Harper. His emails were polite, professional, and reassuring. He told potential tenants that he had inherited the loft from a relative and had to relocate out of state for work. Everything he said sounded plausible. He provided scanned identification, a fake utility bill, and carefully formatted documents that looked official. Even the way he wrote, calm, concise, confident, made people feel they could trust him. David offered virtual tours, sending detailed videos of the loft. He filmed the interiors meticulously, the polished hardwood floors, the sunlight spilling across the living room, the kitchen with stainless steel appliances. He even included snippets of the city skyline from the balcony. Everything looked perfect. Among those drawn to the listing was Samantha, a young professional moving to Austin for her first corporate job. She had been searching for weeks, overwhelmed by high rents, fierce competition, and apartments that looked promising online but were disappointing in reality. When she saw David's loft, she felt relief. Finally, a place that matched her dream and her budget. But David explained that due to high interest, he couldn't accept traditional applications right away. Instead, he asked for a security deposit to hold the apartment while the paperwork was finalized. He assured Samantha and the other potential tenants that it was fully refundable and a standard practice in high-demand cities. Despite her caution, she didn't want to lose the opportunity. She transferred the deposit, several $1,000s. She received a receipt that looked official, confirming her place in the apartment. For a few days, everything seemed normal. Emails were answered promptly, and she felt a sense of relief and excitement. But then the communication began to change. Emails became slower, more generic, and then stopped altogether. Phone calls went unanswered. Samantha, growing uneasy, decided to visit the building in person. That's when the truth hit. The doorman had never heard of her, and the apartment didn't exist under the name she had been given. The building manager confirmed that no unit had ever been rented by a David Harper. Panic set in. Samantha was not alone. Investigators later discovered that David Harper had orchestrated a sophisticated network of fake, high-end apartment listings across Texas, Nevada, and Arizona. He had stolen real photos from legitimate listings, copied floor plans, and crafted fake addresses and documents to make the scams seem authentic. His victims were drawn in not by pressure or threats, but by trust. The illusion that everything was legitimate and safe. The scam worked because it was patient and methodical. David never pushed anyone, never created urgency, and allowed victims to convince themselves. By the time authorities began to connect the dots, the money had already passed through multiple accounts and disappeared, often beyond recovery. Samantha eventually learned the hard way that appearances can be deceiving. She, along with dozens of others, lost thousands of dollars, deposits meant for their first apartments, for their new jobs, or for starting over in a new city. Retirees, young professionals, and families were all affected, each thinking they were making a safe, normal decision. Months later, the buildings remained. Apartments were occupied by real tenants, shining in the Texas sun, with no sign of the elaborate scheme that had unfolded online. But for those who almost moved in, the empty promises left a lingering sense of distrust and regret. The story ends as a cautionary tale. In a world where images can be manipulated and identities can be faked, trust must be earned, not assumed. Always verify addresses, meet landlords in person, And never send money without confirming the legitimacy of a listing, because sometimes the most dangerous opportunities are the ones that seem too perfect to be real.